Okay. So, Zion, right?
Yeah, Chov Test Tishrei, yes.
Okay. Mizenu Cholei, that we're continuing in the halachas. The Chosh came in Nagela, right? Because, and he had said, I always find it such a powerful Kiddush, and Hashem should not test me, right? To give up my pranos and not to be over on a love. And he says, so Mizenu Choleda, says the Chavetz Chaim continues, Chosh came in Nagela, right? Because Ba'alma. Certainly, if just a question of your covet, that might be touched. For example, you're sitting amongst people, and there's no way you could excuse yourself. Let's say you're on a bus and it's moving, or you're on a plane, right? And they are speaking halachically words that are also. And if you sit there and you don't in any way involve yourself in their story, you sit there like you made, cut out of ice, stone. They'll view you as not being 100% normal. So b'vadei does. So certainly, yes, you have to give your panos. So certainly, if it's your covenant on the bottom in letter Yud Aleph, I see he says in the Ber Mayim Chaim, "V'chas v'chalil yin kazeh lo yomru." And just to make it clear, he's saying Chazal have a statement that they did not say here. Chazal said that a person should always be at the murevis. He should be together with people. He shouldn't separate himself. He says, but it certainly doesn't apply here. That's said in a case where those brios, those people are not doing something else. These people are called Rishonim. Well, also this Chabrim and Klal, you're not allowed to join them in their stories at all. It's also. Even if it's going to cause enmity, a fight. You should not factor that in at all. It's Dvarim Asurim. Kuf Yud Beis Sif Test. I feel Avral Isa Derabanan Osam Rishum Eva. You're not allowed to even be over on Isa Derabanan because of Eva Valachs Kama Kama Bisa Chama Kazeh. And certainly, if we're talking about such a serious Easter. Okay, so that's just an clarity. Don't make a mistake that Chazal would allow you to be part of the gang. Chazal, there's tremendous Chazal on this, and things similar to this Chazal taught us. It's preferable that a person should be called, should be looked at as a fool. His whole life, people should look at him as odd, as strange. But Yerusha Sha'achas, rather than being a Rusha even for 1 hour, for 1 moment, is now Mokem by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, as much as they may feel and think of all kind of strange things about you because you're not participating, you're not one of the guys, you're not interested, you separate yourself, it's still better than being doing Avera in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to strengthen yourself. Strengthen. It's a battle because it really is peer pressure. We know peer pressure is a powerful, powerful psychological thing. It's very hard to stand up against peer pressure, especially if those are the people, that people respect and people, they're guys who are in. I would imagine, though I can't say this firsthand, and I'm not embarrassed, that many people have started drinking or started smoking or started drugs just out of peer pressure, even though they knew that they shouldn't be doing it. It's wrong. But everybody's doing it. Well, the cool guys are doing it. I don't want to look strange. I want to be left out. I'll just do it once type of thing. So a person has to be mizaris atzmai in such a situation, strengthen himself, with everything you got. But avoid defenses. Lamoid al nafshay. stand for your life, and you can be assured that indicates that your reward for putting up this battle will be from a Kadosh Baruch Hu with no end. Remember Chazal, as Chazal teach us, L'fum Tzara Agra, it's another very powerful thing to remember when things are going hard, that the reward is a direct result of how much difficulty there was. Two people could do the same mitzvah, exactly the same mitzvah, and one is going to get way more schar than the other. Say someone's wealthy, gives $100 to tzedakah, and another guy who's really, it's going to mean cutting his grocery bill. He gives 100,000 tzedakah. He did the exact same thing, but he had more tzar. It was more difficult for him to do that same mitzvah. You get more reward. In a case where there's such great challenges, so much pressure to join them, and you fight it off, the reward is multiplied. The Isa in Avos of Nosson. Avos of Nosson is a brisa that parallels Pirkei Avos. When you do a mitzvah one time out of difficulty, is equal more than 100 times doing that same act that came easily. Ubeyuro says the Chafetz Chaim, what does that mean? Kidvar mitzvah. Or if you do a mitzvah, well, you separate yourself from Dvar Yisa, Shaboylai Deitzar, that was done with difficulty, whatever difficulty it might be, your reward will be 100 times more than the same mitzvah, Shaboylai Shloibitzar, but that you were able to do easily. Well, at such a time, when you're in such a pickle, such a battle, certainly the words of Chazal are applicable. For every moment that a person closes his mouth, he'll merit that light that was hidden away. There's no malach, there's no creation. No one could even understand what that Oregon is tremendous pleasure, tremendous schar. Now, what practically am I supposed to do? In Nitwas B'Chavruah Kazu, if you got stuck, you took a ride up with someone, they offered you a ride, you had to go somewhere, and now you're on the highway, and they're driving, and they're schmoozing. What do I do? Leading her chocha b'Kabbalah, as far as there's a question of the mitzvah of Teichocha, it's a question of Kabbalah's Lashon Horah. Ayin Kaman b'Kalvav. So you have to stay tuned until we get to Kalvav, Sif, Dalet, Hey, and Vav. He'll discuss there exactly what a person's obligation is. But one thing's for sure, he should not join them, and he should not show in any way that he's accepting, agreeing of what they're talking about. Okay, so that's in the Sefer Chafetz Chaim. Let's do one more because I see it's a short one. The Isa of speaking Lashon, again, we're learning halacha now. We finished Akdama where there was more Musa style. This is mamash the halacha. The Isa applies whether you're actually verbalizing the Lashon Horah, or you write someone Lashon Horah. And there's no difference between Musapalav Lashon Shaloi Beferish, and it makes no difference if you said the Lashon Horah explicitly, you hinted to it. You said it in a way that everybody understands, but you didn't have to spell it out. Any of these situations, Lashon Horah, it's considered Lashon Horah. Okay, let's go now to the Shmiras haLashon. Moshe G, you have this sefer, by the way, at home?
Which one?
This is what we're learning. Hello.
I don't think I have that one.
Okay, I happen to have an extra copy in my yeshiva. If you know you're coming to Yerushalayim, let me know. Bring it home.
Okay, Shkaya. Amazing Shem and Sukkot. Hopefully we'll come in.
All right, so maybe I'll try to remember even tomorrow, the next day, to bring it home. Okay. We're up to in the second part of the Sefer, the second Chelik, really. We're up to Chav Tes Tishrei, is that right, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, V'hine calls again. Here he's discussing the tremendous punishment that there is for Balei Lashon Horah. Again, he had differentiated between someone who stumbled. It's like the difference, someone who by mistake ate treif, or someone who eats lunch every day in McDonald's because it doesn't bother him. Okay, so there's someone, you stumbled, you don't speak Lashon Horah, you understand its gravity, but it slipped. Or a Balei Lashon Horah is someone who's does it freely, does not feel bound to that halacha. Oh, so now he was explaining, because you might say, okay, so you've told me, you wrote in Midrashim, that the result of Lashon Horah is tzaras. But we don't see that happening, right? So how do we understand it? So he explained that this, what Gemara said, was in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, when there was a kohen. The whole purpose of becoming a mitzvah was that you went out of your comfort zone, basically. You went out of the machane. You had to publicize that you were tamei, tremendous embarrassment. And then the kohen had to be called in. The whole procedure. It says, that was all true. When there was a Beis Hamikdash, Mashen came out to, unlike now, we don't have a Beis Hamikdash. We don't have karbonos. We don't have a kohen that could be metaher. Maybe it's an agoyim al gufay. Hashem would inflict someone with tzaras. Then that would be it. He's stuck with tzaras till the day he dies. I don't know what happens afterwards. And he had said at the beginning of yesterday's day from the Nachal Kadumim that everything, any punishment Hashem gives a person is for his benefit. He's not being vindictive. He's not saying, I'm going to get you. It's either to bring him, to cleanse him, or to awaken him to do tshuva. So he says, in our days, if a person would get tzaras, he'd be stuck with it. He wouldn't be able to come tahor. He says, therefore, so that wouldn't be good, because that wouldn't be for your benefit. You can't do tshuva, you're stuck with it. It says, therefore, the tzaras is on your nefesh, but it doesn't come out, it doesn't express itself on your guf. And therefore, you don't become practically a mitzvah. This is the intent of the Medrash. It's in the Yalkut Shemoni Parshas Mitzvah, V'Shem Rav Yanai. Someone who watches, guards his mouth. Shemer Mitzoras Nafshe will save himself from Tzoras Nafshe, and says Rav Yanai, Mitzoras Nafshe, he'll save himself. To protect himself from tzaras nafshay. He specifies tzaras nafshay. So it's happening. So you have a spiritual tzaras. You just don't see it. He says, therefore, a person accustoms himself to this avera chas v'shalom tzarich, this oinen tomin al nafshay. He has to be worried about his nefesh. Even though here HaKadosh Baruch Hu is covering for the guy, he doesn't show it. People don't see it. So he's saved from all of that embarrassment and that whole procedure. However, doesn't show everyone his colon is his embarrassment, downfall. He says, but after 120, where the nefesh will leave the body. Up there, everyone will see that you're a mitzvah. And he says, as long as you have this zuama, this is like the dirty, of this illness in the nefesh, the tzaras, a menuga certainly can't go into Gan Eden. He said that's an obvious thing. You know, I don't need a proof of that. You can't go into the Beis Hamikdash, you know, into Machne Yisrael. You're certainly not going to be able to go into Gan Eden. There you'll have to sit outside. Which is a place of klipos and chitzainim. I don't know about these things much, but they're not a very pleasant place to be. Unless you did tshuva properly. So it's not such a good scene. Vigam. Okay. Let's go. Next one. He says, even while you're still alive, when your nefesh goes up, I guess at night. All those words of Lashon Horah that you spoke during the day go up with you. Words and all the holy souls up there separate themselves from you. It can be a great embarrassment to the nefesh. He comes up and everyone takes 5 steps back. Where does the Chafetz Chaim get this from? The Zohar Kodesh Pashas Tazria, it says, Shema people Lashon Shema Tzaras Nafsha. Again, the pasuk in Mishlei begin to eat Sefer Vosei Ulashone Memalin Milin Bishen. Because your lips and your tongue speak Lashon Horah, add words, Inon Milin Solkin Leila, those words go up Uveshaita the Solkin. And when they go up, Kula Machvis and Roman, there's like announcements being made. Move away. It's like a little bit like the announcement that Moshe Rabbeinu made in the time of Korach. And was it Dasan and Aviram? Separate yourself from their tents. There's an announcement in Shemayim. Move away. Move back. Panun Asar. Make room. La'orche dechivya takifa. To the road of the Nachash, the snake, strongness. Gedei nishmasa kadisha. So then that holy neshama is abris minei. It says here in the Hebrew, parachas mimeno, leaves and flies away. V'stolka, and it can't speak. L'malala. U'kumod Omar, as the pasuk in Tilim says, nelamti, dumia. Hechishesi mitoiv. I was silent. Good. Vahi neshmasa soka bekisufa. Ve'oku dechula. And that neshama out of embarrassment. With tremendous tsar. V'loyovula asar kilometadmin. They don't give him his place. As they used to. Doksiv. And this concept, it's written, Shema Pil L'Shayne, Shema Mitzaras Nafshe, Atkan L'Shayne B'Kitzur. This is the words of the Zohar. I guess he shortened, left pieces. Okay. All right. We'll stop here today. Mitzvah Shem.